Citadel. We did see some fireworks.
Yes.
On the way in, and when we got back to the Citadel, we met with the king. He promised us magic items, and then he got ambushed by yak folk, who we put in a box and then slaughtered.
Yes.
We tried to make an impromptu kiddie pool for them, and couldn't find a water source.
Yeah. It was brutal. Hilarious, but brutal. Yeah, that's...
If I recall correctly, we're still in the Citadel.
You are. They told you that it would take... So Ox and you both asked for some specific magic items. Ox, I believe, asked... Well, Ox's is, in fact, carved into him. So you are both kind of... you're both stuck in the Citadel for a week.
Shopping!
Yes. And there was some carousing.
There's some what?
Carousing.
Ah, yes, of course.
People caroused.
Hanks is just doing retail therapy at this point.
Sorry, I'm late.
No worries. We just recapped and That's all we did.
Okay, I'm gonna be a few minutes catching my breath now.
Okay, no worries.
So, quick question. So the king gave us all rare items. How much would it cost to buy a rare item?
Oh, I'm gonna go with depends on the rare item. What are you looking for?
Specifically looking to trade my Cloak of Protection for a Cloak of Displacement, I think it's called.
Is that the one that lets you dimension door once a day?
No, it's the one that gives disadvantage on attack rolls against you until you get hit.
Oh, that one. Right, I'm thinking of a different cloak. Oh.
You're thinking of the Cloak of Mount
awesome.
Does that end when you get hit?
So
I thought
it
it
ends
was
when you get
permanent.
hit, but then it comes back online at the start of your next turn.
Oh, okay, that's probably why I thought it was permanent. We're gonna call it 3,500 for a Cloak of Displacement.
Okay.
It has lovely, fashionable tentacles hanging from it as well, like the hat from last campaign.
Nice.
Nerb had.
Didn't we have a bunch of stuff to sell when we got to a town?
Yeah, we picked up a lot of shit in Iron Slag, so...
Yeah, we got a few piles of things to hawk.
Okay. Let's do that, because I might have enough gold after that.
Yeah. Plus, if you don't want to sell the Cloak of Protection, I would totally like that myself.
Yeah, if I've still got it, yeah, I'll give it to you. If I can get the
Okay, so I'm looking at, on my notes, I have a Gorgon's horn made into a drinking horn with a flame design, valued at 2,500 GP. 1,500 GP staff, a 750 GP cloak, and 400 GP of gems.
That sounds right. 1 second.
You said 2,500 for the horn? Yeah, okay.
I feel better. I think I did 20 miles on my bike in the last 4 hours.
That does not sound fun.
It wasn't terribly fun.
Sorry, the pizza guy was late. He just got here. What's up?
I want pizza.
I mean, unless you're willing to come to Canada, you're shit out of luck.
Where in Canada?
Ontario?
Mm,
That's
might
in
have a friend of
bicycle
mine come
distance,
over and
right?
pick it up.
Sorry?
I said I might have a friend of mine come over and pick it up.
Fuck you, no.
You don't blame me for having friends in Ontario. Oh my god.
Anyhow, selling things. That is a thing you were trying to do.
I was going to say, you missed making some very important questions about said friend. Are they single and are they hot?
He is definitely single.
Is he hot, though? You're dodging the important question here.
Honestly, have
Could
not
we
seen a
both get
picture
in
of
a
him.
rowboat with him?
Damn. Okay, so we don't know if he's hot or not. That's like a 50-50 chance.
Wait, for who?
Don't worry about it.
No. I'm learning about this.
Ask Robin.
We're just discussing whether or not a friend of mine is hot before he comes over to pick up pizza.
Oh, okay.
All right. So yes, you're looking to sell things. Those all look like things I would have given you. I thought there were more gems, but okay. I will defer to your notes on this. Yeah, you can get market value for these pretty easily. The dwarves like gems and fancy things. They're big fans of fire giant craftsmanship. So you can get market value on these pretty easily. Which would be what you have so helpfully calculated there.
I bet
So
Rich and I could help with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we're failures if we don't do better.
We did just save the king.
Roll persuasion.
We're just gonna aid each other here. I got a... Hold on, where's my thing? Come
All right,
on.
20.
Damn it. I'll use
For
my...
a 12, I'll give you 10%. For a 20, I'll give you...
Yeah, I'd say I just aid Rich on that.
Yeah, for a 20, I'll give you 30% bonus on that.
Woo!
Nice.
So, everybody take an extra 30% on that. Yeah, there you go. Ooh, so close.
which means I should have enough for the Cloak of Displacement.
Fucking sweet.
Seriously contemplating getting a wand of fireballs.
And yeah, Adriel, you can have my Cloak of Protection.
Thank you. Which means I now have a spare ring. Where did I get that ring of fire resistance? I'm trying to remember. Was that a gift?
That was a
Yeah,
gift
yeah.
directly from the king.
Yeah, the king gave you
Okay.
that fire resistance.
It will not actually be attuned, though.
So we can't sell it yet.
Not yet.
Why not?
I thought we agreed we were not going to sell the personal gift from the king.
I don't know that
that's
we
right.
ever agreed on that.
We agreed not to sell it here.
I definitely feel like this is a poor plan.
Well, I think the biggest problem is nobody really wants it unless Inks
Well,
wants it.
The ring itself,
And a
is
certain
it?
somebody already has fire resistance.
Right. So it's kind of one of those things that's not really useful to anybody. And I mean,
Or
I
not
have
as
an
useful
attune
as some of
slot
the other
left.
stuff?
Right. I mean, I have a slot left if we just need somebody to hold on to it.
But that's my only reason for not using it. Is I don't have the attunement slots, but I'm also looking at my other stuff. So I
But
have
yeah, I
the
figured
ingot.
I feel like one of the frontline people would be much more benefited by it.
Well, you never know if any of the other people will have fireball.
Well, especially because we keep doing tactical fireballs.
Yeah, didn't we agree that it'd actually be pretty handy on one of our frontliners who's going to get hit with someone's fireball sooner or later?
Right, but
Yeah.
is that more useful, or is +1 AC and +1 to saves more useful
Yeah,
overall?
AC and saves probably will get used a lot more.
Yeah. I'm eyeballing the ingot though. That's +1 AC and a weird ability. I could link it to the shield, and that would still be +1 AC and a different weird ability.
Wasn't it that you got to absorb damage or something?
If I leave it as an ingot, um, yeah, I can absorb damage of a target for 1 round.
The description of it is in the magic items folder.
But if I put it on a shield, I get the half-orc thing where when you get killed, you don't get killed once per day.
That's also always nice.
If both of those require attunement, I obviously need the weapon. So it's like there's 3 defensive items. They're all good, but I only have room for 2 of them.
Does Ox have any free attunement slots?
No, I do not. I've got my weapon, my bracers of defense, and my new shiny cloak of displacement.
It really is the saddest.
Also, I don't need the ring of fire protection because I have a +8 dexterity save and evasion.
Assuming you're not already down.
I mean, if I'm already down, the resistance to fire
Also,
doesn't do anything.
Good point.
Yeah, I only have a +7 to dex saves and no evasion.
Is that +7 with the cloak?
With the cloak, yeah. Anyway, I'm thinking about it. Unless somebody wants to jump on either the ingot or the ring, or the cloak for that matter.
What's the
They're all
ingot?
good. The ingot does one of 3 things. Right now, it's a rune on an ingot.
It's
And
in the
use it.
notes.
Oh yeah, it's the
Yeah,
AC
it's
thing.
20.
Okay, right. It's from the golem.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's stuck in his forehead.
Not anymore.
No. Anybody want to make some choices for Adriel and put her out of her misery?
Ox, that does not mean put her down.
Oh. I put my fists back down. The ingot could potentially go to somebody else, so that they can use that shield bond ability.
Okay, here's a question. Can I... Hold on. Kind of want to keep... Oh, yeah. No, I do want to use it. I was thinking about for Vicefala. Could I put a ring on Elk?
Could the ingot be used on an already magic weapon?
Good question. I think it might specify. It specifies non-magical item.
Ah, damn it. All right. We can also just put the ring in the bag and sell it at the next city.
Well, that's what I was thinking. If anybody has an open slot, they could just at least wear it until we get there.
How many things are you allowed to attune?
3. Unless you're an artificer.
I'm at my limit then.
I guess I can take it until we get there then, because I have a free slot.
Well, the
Sounds
other
good.
question to that is the ring itself. How is it decorated?
It's a very nice golden ring. It's got a very large garnet in the middle of it. Are you looking?
Actually, specifically, I want to know, is it obviously a gift from the king?
It doesn't have his sigil on it or anything, if that's what you're asking. It's a pretty ornate ring. It's got a big garnet on it, but it doesn't have the king's sigil on it anywhere or anything.
That is what I was asking.
I wonder if Harshnag could wear it just in case.
I could wear it as a pinky ring, I suppose.
Oh, you're here. Good to see you, darling.
Oh wait, shit, yeah, he's out of the city. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea. We could give it to him.
Yeah, you have a vague feeling that it might fit on, like, his pinky toe.
I mean,
That still
it's a
works.
magic ring. Doesn't it, like, resize itself?
Unclear at this time.
Well, see, then we don't have to worry about Harshnag when people are throwing fireballs.
I'm sure he appreciates your foresight.
It is what I'm good at. Most of the time.
I'm sure the king would be thrilled to know that his gift to you is going to be used by a giant.
Well, we did try to tell him, well, people did try to tell him that none of us can use it, right?
At the time, we could use it.
I mean, if anything, Inks will wear it and it will just be jewelry for her. Because I'm perfectly fine with that.
Well,
She
that's
would
what I
s-
was thinking. If it has like his runes on it or something, then
Oh,
we
yeah.
would definitely want to keep it just for that.
Oh, yeah. And Inks would totally wear it for that.
Well, but at that point, we could give it to the one guy that has a free slot.
Yeah, might as well add fire resistance to somebody while we're at it.
There you go.
But Harshnog's probably the best bet there.
Well, when we part ways with him, you can get it back. It can be a loan.
So we agree then?
Yeah, it sounds like we have a plan.
See, not giving anything away. It works out for everybody.
And if David is saying anything, we can't hear you.
I haven't been saying anything. I've been waiting for y'all to make a decision. And that's cool. All right. So you do have 7 days. Day 1 of your adventures in Adbar. What do people want to do?
Retail therapy.
Retail therapy. All right. What about the rest of y'all? Actually, first 3 days. Let's not do this day by day. First 3 days of adventures in Adbar. What do you guys want to do?
What did you say a week of spell research would run me?
Oh, you want to pick up spell research stuff?
I mean, you were gently encouraging me to last time we spoke.
This is true. I mean, I made those lovely rules and everything. Let me check those rules. Actually, I don't remember off the top of my head. I believe it was something to the effect of 10 times the spell level or something.
I mean, if that's the case, I'll pick up several weeks worth before we take off.
Scratch that. 1,000 per spell level.
Per week?
No, just total. You're not exactly in major druid country. So I'm just gonna go by what I've got down as standard. So 1,000 gold per spell level. Just as a total gold.
Alright, so that gold equation that got rolled up or there earlier, that's split for each of us, right?
The one you talked to me about earlier was 4th level. The spell.
Right, and there was some math in the chat that
Yeah, 1339 is each.
1339, I thought it was 1030.
We haggled it up.
You haggled a 30% increase.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna put my 1,000 of that into research materials and hang on to the other 339.
All right. That should get you at least a couple weeks of research, at least one week of research. I'm gonna pimp the spell. I'm gonna pimp the spell research rules to you guys again, just in case anybody else has forgotten about them.
Can I research fancier ways to hit people?
I would like to research fists, please.
Yeah, like, well, no, but how much
You
gold
know
does he need
what?
to
I would actually be down to make that happen.
So how much gold does he need to invest to make dust come off him every time he hits someone like a kung fu movie?
Ox is a kung fu movie protagonist, basically.
Pretty much.
He just also happens to be a robot.
There's actually nowhere to do it on the sheet itself anymore. You have to go and edit the actual numbers.
What number would I edit then?
So if you go into the attributes and abilities, and go down to where it says strength saving throw mod, it's the second number that's just like an actual plus whatever, which is strength saving throw mod underscore something else, and you have to do that for each of the scores.
That sucks.
Yes. There used to be something on this sheet where you could just do it right there, but it's no longer there. They updated it at some point and removed it.
Heaven forbid people should use magic items.
Yeah.
Or, be cleric paladins. So
Oh, yeah.
that's why I'm confused. Like, it's adding the paladin mod, so there's a way to do it.
Maybe the option becomes visible if you're in edit mode?
No, there's no extra things when you're in edit, really.
There's probably a variable you can set it to, but you have to figure out the name.
Yeah, there might be. I tried looking at the documentation, but I didn't spend that long looking at it. Surprisingly, there is documentation. It's not very good, but it exists.
I mean, it's better than what I would usually expect, but yeah.
Better than a lot of places, which is real sad.
Well, documentation's hard, and it takes effort to keep up with.
It's not hard, it just takes time.
Yes, that equals hard to most people.
Yeah, but those people are bitches.
Look, I shouldn't have to document my code. It should be obvious from the person reading it.
But you don't write self-documenting code.
If by self-documenting code you mean the occasional comment every 100 lines or so, sure.
No comments. You can tell just by reading it.
Well, the comment every 100 lines or so is just the automatic one at the top of the file saying who created it.
You're the worst kind of person.
See, I used to work for the government, so I never let those get through because then I can be held accountable for shit in the file.
I changed them to my coworker's name.
Really the best.
right. So, Inks wants to do retail therapy. Syl wants to do spell research. What do the rest of you guys want to do for the next 3 days?
I'm waiting for my sword to get improved, so I can't do that.
Is there any information we might be able to get from my contacts?
What are you looking for?
Sorry, that's what I meant. Was I was asking the group if there's any information I should ask about or inquire.
Okay. Oh.
I mean, I'm guessing that there's no way we can find out what those fireworks were through them.
We can ask.
It's just any
Yeah,
new
it just-
information about the giants would probably work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, spying on a giant stronghold seems a little out of scope.
Or if they, well, general rumors are always good.
Okay. So just general rumors / fireworks?
Yeah, if they know anything about the fireworks over Iron Slag, or if they've any kind of interesting general rumors specifically about giants, but any general rumors are good to know too.
All right, that's fair. Adriel, Ox.
I figure Ox is pretty busy getting engraved.
That's true. You would be busy. Adriel?
Really not sure. I would take some time to relax. Probably a little bit of retail therapy.
Yeah, between retail therapy, Inks might go check in on the king if she can every so often just to see how he's doing since he got injured. Be her doting self.
Oh, what is the exact year? It would be early fall. I want to say it's like 1478 DR. Oh, I should know that. I'm pretty sure it's 1478. Those of you who want to do retail therapy, let me know what you're looking for while I give Rich his rumors. All right, so Rich. Rumors / Iron Slag fireworks. So, on the topic of Iron Slag fireworks, you guys are not the only ones who've seen them. They were seen by several different groups in Adbar as well. Opinions vary as to what they are. No one's quite sure. Some opinions say that the Duke is celebrating something. Some say that he's angry. Nothing concrete right now. For general rumors of giants, there are a couple of rumors about flying castles that have been spotted in the area. One has apparently been going back and forth between the upper parts of the desert. So here, that general area, and somewhere west past Silver Moon and Everland. They're not sure how far past it went over the Evermoors, and nobody was crazy enough to try and follow it through there. There's been talk of another one as well, a different one, that is that has been heading over the mountains to the north as well. In other news, you start hearing a bit more about the disciples as well. They're apparently trying to push east. They've been primarily, their main area of operation has been the coast for a while, but they're pushing further and further inland. They've started seeing disciple temples in Silvery Moon and Everland. Plenty of other news of giant attacks. A bunch of elves fought off some giant incursions into the high forest. A ancient green dragon fought off a clump of giants that came into that went into Crypt Garden Forest. Rumor has it as well that there has been an airship going around as well, crewed by members of the Cult of the Dragon. No one's quite sure what they're doing, but there's an airship flying around the north.
What is the Cult of the Dragon? Besides what it kind of sounds like.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's he cannot. The Cult of the Dragon is a catch-all term. At this point, it's a catch-all term for cultists that worship dragons. About a decade or so ago now, the Cult of the Dragon tried to resurrect Tiamat and bring her back from the Nine Hells. And unfortunately, fortunately, they were disrupted, and since then they've kind of broken apart.
So they're bad guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're bad guys who worship dragons.
So if we happen to come across and kick their asses and take their airship, that's morally fine, right?
They clearly don't deserve their stuff.
Is killing evil things morally wrong?
Not in
I
D&D
mean,
world.
I'm sure if we give them long enough, they'll make another attempt to res Tiamat.
Yeah. Probably. It's may be a while though.
And therefore it is vital that we find them, kick their asses, and take away their airship. First, because taking away their airship will make it much harder for them to do whatever it is they're trying to do. Second,
like this
they're bad
plan.
lads and they've got it coming. Third, as I recall, you said we were never going to have an airship, and I want to prove you wrong.
Did I say that?
I thought you did.
Oh. I say a
I've
lot
been
of
wrong.
things. I say a lot of things, so I may well have said that.
I take it is not a lasting opinion then, since you seem sort of surprised at the idea now.
I'm fine with you guys having an airship.
Syl, Sid, same difference. Yay, airships.
It took me a second to remember why you were calling me Syl, because that's what everyone in my guild calls me. Oh, wait a minute, you're not in my guild.
Syl is just a name that comes around in this group, apparently, because, I mean, this is a second Syl character.
Apparently.
What happened to the
The
other Syl?
Jennifer of the realms.
She went back to her special place in the Feywilds, basically.
She vanished into thin air, never to be
So-
seen again.
I changed
What you're saying
characters.
is
Yeah.
she decided
one of
not to
those
hang
hippie
out with
elves.
you. she decided not to hang out with the group anymore and went solo.
Awful.
That sounds more like the deep gnome that we had in the group.
No, he didn't choose not to hang out with the group anymore. The group was like, fuck that guy.
Serb?
You kicked
Zerb
his
got,
Serb did go murder. Serb went very murder.
Zerb got straight up murdered.
But went murderous first.
Yeah. I think Jake's exact words were, though, that Zerb should die a sinner's death. So.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Selmy might have been sad if she knew, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody missed her. All right. So yeah, that's about all I have for rumors, unless you've got something else specific you're looking to find rumors on.
The giants in the forest that got chased off by the ancient green dragon. The rumor said there were 2 of them.
There was only one ancient green dragon.
1 ancient green dragon. How many giants?
Reports vary. Sometimes just 1, sometimes, 4 or 5.
Did they say which forest?
The Crypt Garden Forest. It's just southwest of Tribor.
Oh.
Roll a history check, actually. Anybody who cares. Oh, yeah, that'll get you there. So Crypt Garden Forest has historically been home. That rumor is probably true. Crypt Garden Forest has been historically home to a very old, very cranky green dragon who goes by the moniker of Old Gnawbone. She has a tendency to carry around corpses hanging from her mouth and gnaw on them.
Oh, so her and the Devourer would get along great.
Yeah.
She seems
She's also reputed to be fairly knowledgeable and something of a spellcaster, as many older dragons are. So, fun facts. So, yeah, unless you have specific rumor questions or more specific things that you're looking for in rumors, that's all. That's all right. Retail therapy people. What are you buying or looking for?
Well, I have shiny boots.
You do. You have magical boots.
So I think I'm going to need some sort of matching coat to go with that.
You want a very shiny coat?
Indeed.
Ooh. All right. I've never seen a very shiny coat before.
Best way to make one would be by skinning ox.
Can you really skin ox though?
That is wrong on so many levels.
But is it wrong on the level of factual accuracy?
That is one of the levels, yes.
It was a rather Zerb thing to say as well.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Uh,
Yeah, FYI, my full tag on my guild Discord is Siliqui, the bringer of wrong.
oh, well, it's been a while since we've had a true psychopath character in the game, so bring it.
I mean, my character's not a psychopath. I wouldn't do that to Siliqui. If I get killed, however, all bets are off.
All right, duly noted. So you're looking for a very shiny jacket or coat. Do you have any? Must it be magically shiny?
I mean, if that's an option, I'm all over it, but
You can probably. You might have some difficulty finding magically shiny coats in non-dwarven sizes here, is the only thing.
ooh, good point.
I mean, there are some normal people clothes that have filtered in. Normal people.
We used to get thrown out of dwarven stores. Sure, but does it come in adult sizes?
Full-sized clothes. Um,
The dog clothes are cute, but do you make any for real people?
Now, keep in mind, Edril really isn't that much taller than the average dwarf. She's only 5'1".
I thought dwarves were like 3.5.
Nah, they're like 4.5. They're medium.
That's not very dwarven.
Nah, 3.5 is like a gnome or a halfling.
yeah. That's true.
However, I'm also like a quarter or less around or across.
Yeah. I was about to say that maybe you could get like plus-sized dwarven clothes, but
Dwarven Lane, Brian?
But that is going to be an issue with the shopping.
Still, are you researching after buying your things?
Yes.
Right. Do me a favor then and roll me your spellcraft checks for the first 3 days then. Just while we're doing everybody else's stuff. Roll a d20. Let's see if you can find yourself a very shiny coat.
Spellcraft goes off in.
Spellcraft ability check. Your DC is 14 currently, with proficiency. So, What kind of shiny coat are you looking for? Are you looking for like a raincoat? Or are you looking for like
More like a
very
jacket?
shiny leather?
Something like, I mean, nothing too heavy, because she's got to be able to move around, but something more like, not a doublet, but something that replaces that part of the dress.
So
Okay,
I'm
got it.
hearing that you want a very shiny leather jacket.
Leather would be too heavy. I was actually thinking more along the lines of silk.
A very shiny silk.
So satin.
Something like that.
All right. So you can find satin. You can find like silk and satin that is more or less what you're looking for. They're not quite
I'm
as
going to have to get it tailored.
yeah. They're not quite as shiny as they're not quite your size, and they're not as shiny as your boots are. They're very obviously non-magical, but they are fairly shiny. I will. There's enough variety in them that you can pick the color.
Hmm. Okay. Probably go with green and yellow.
Good choice. That fits your color scheme, I believe.
Yeah. And obviously I'm going to have to get it tailored, so that'll be a couple of days before it's ready.
Right. Call it 50 gold for your nice coat plus 10.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hail, satin.
Thanks, I guess.
I've had it in my head for a while to say, and that seemed like an opportune moment.
That works.
Yeah, it works. All right. So, did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody's stuff for the first 3 days?
How's the king doing?
Oh, the king. Yes, he is in recovery. His guards are extremely paranoid at the moment. So unfortunately, they are not letting you in.
Yeah, I guess
Oh, well.
that makes
She would at
sense.
least,
I mean,
Inks would at least
They
have them pass
apologize
along.
profusely, but
Inks would at least have them pass along her deepest sympathies and hopes that he'll get well soon. And she will keep doing that every day, just so they know.
they're clearly the right people to protect him, considering they basically stood around him and let Yak shoot arrows at him.
Speaking of, actually, that is something I would be doing, is trying to figure out a way to see if there are any more yak folk around or other threats.
ooh, good.
Can't we just kill all of them and then revive them if a yak doesn't pop out?
Do you have Revivify? Do any of
There's
you
a shit
have
ton of diamonds.
Revivify? Doesn't
I'm
cost.
sure they have their own people.
No, so all we-
Revivify has there's a material cost to it, 300 GP gem.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
we've got a much better way of doing that.
What, reincarnate?
That would be hilarious. But no, I was thinking of good berries. I mean, the yak comes out once they hit death save territory, right?
It does.
And recovering 1 hit point will take you out of death save territory, does it not?
You are correct.
So we could absolutely beat people to within an inch of their life, see if a yak pops out, and if not, feed them a good berry.
Okay. Are you going to do this to everybody in Adbar?
I bet the king's guards would help us.
Are you in the
Yeah, not personally.
Are you and the King's Guards going to go beat up everybody in Adbar? Please say yes.
Hey, I bet there are... We were talking about, or like, at least somebody was talking about that there might be like high-level clerics or something like that, or paladins that might have good spells for finding...
I got my divine sense. That's not gonna...
Because I know
Since we
there's
don't
talk
demons,
before of
devils, or any of
people,
that stuff.
of clerics and stuff who might know what exactly is in the flask.
Yeah, that's another thing we have to worry about, is actually, confirming that we have the right flask.
Actually, would true seeing show the yak folk?
Yeah, True Sight should probably do that, I think.
I'm not sure.
Would Moonbeam work? Do they kind of shit changed?
No, no, they didn't. They didn't shape change. They didn't pop out of possession when you hit them with Moonbeam last time.
Yeah.
What about something like suggestion or detect thoughts?
Detect thoughts might work, actually. The Yak folk is completely in control of their brain, so detect thoughts could work.
Hey, guess who has detect thoughts at will?
You do.
Nice. How do you have that at will? Oh,
Hat
the
of
helmet, right?
awesomeness.
Very fancy hat of telepathy.
Which, yeah, I can suggest once a day, but I can detect thoughts all I want.
Be worth going through some of the, at least the King's Guard and the people that have access to the castle.
Indeed. Just tag along with one of Inks' well-wishing trips.
Yeah, that would definitely not be a bad thing to do. When I'm not spell researching or carousing.
All right. Roll a D100. You do not detect any. You reach out and attempt to read people's minds as best you can, but you do not detect any thoughts that seem especially weird. Or that's probably not a good way to put it. Any thoughts that seem yak folky. There are a significant number of weird thoughts, but they tend to be mostly just bored servants.
Well, it was worth a shot.
I'm happy knowing there aren't any yak folk hanging around the king.
All right. So, first 3 days, do people want to carouse?
Who wouldn't?
Fair enough.
We're in a
Also,
dwarven city, of course.
I would like to give everybody inspiration.
Ah, yes. All right.
You know, yeah, we got a week. Let's do it.
All right. Everybody, roll your D100s who wants to carouse, and I guess add a D8 to it for bardic inspiration.
Inks might drink a little bit more than usual, but not enough to get drunk. And now I think they understand why she never did.
It is definitely clear.
Oh, wow. We have some good ones. All right, we got a 61, an 88, a 38, and a 77. We're going to start from the top. All right, Rich. You apparently had a very fun night. You wake up. You wake up 2 miles outside of the city in a stand of trees. There is no one around you. You are in the middle of a perfect circle of trees, and you are naked, save for the freshly flayed skin of a lamb.
And he's Scottish.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened, nor do I really want to, so I'm just gonna find my clothes and go about my day.
Your clothes are nowhere to be found. You are outside the city as well.
And it's winter time, right?
It is fall.
Well, when I get close to town, I can just get back in the wall and then use invisibility to make it back to the end.
All right. So, are you going to? When are you becoming invisible?
Probably close to the wall.
All right. So you're invisible when you try and go through the wall.
Yeah.
All right. Roll stealth with advantage. All right. Yeah. You sneak into the. You sneak into town with no difficulty with your invisibility spell. people look at you very funny once the invisibility spell wears off, and you're still finding your way back to the inn. But nobody calls the guard on you.
It takes them more than an hour?
Adbar is not a small city.
That's fair. I assume we might be doing it more than once.
Nope, can only do it once per day, unless I want to blow a greater invis on it, which I don't think I do.
It's fair. All right. So yeah, you make it back to the tavern eventually.
Inks just like claps and he wanders in with a grin.
Did you take the lambskin with you?
No.
Oh, come on.
I don't want those questions.
Oh, there are already questions, darling, and I want to hear all the answers.
Oh, I'm sure there's questions, but they're less focused questions than they would be if I was carrying the lambskin.
A freshly flayed lambskin.
Which means you have some blood on you.
Yeah, I'd wash that off, so at least
we
I'm
don't,
just naked and not bloody and naked.
we don't know that you're the one who skinned it.
But we also don't know that I'm not.
So is Rich in fact all bloody?
Oh, is he? Rich, that question was directed at you.
I have no idea. I mean, I figured I was gonna, if I was, I would wash myself off before going inside.
Okay, that's fair. So when he arrives, no, he is not bloody.
Oh, and I totally would use minor illusion to do a fig leaf.
Good stuff.
Didn't know you were so meek.
All right. Syl, how tall is Syl? This is a very important question. I must know the answer.
I don't appear to have ever explicitly defined it, so let's say 5'3".
Oh,
Oh,
that's too short. This is no fun. So you wake up behind a tailor shop. You are wearing a ball gown that was definitely made for a noblewoman, but definitely made for a dwarven noblewoman, not an elven one. The rest of your clothing is missing. However, this ball gown is not very well fitting. It's a bit short on you.
Does it look like she's trying to wear a miniskirt?
Almost. A very, very ornate miniskirt.
well, I don't really want to steal their dress. Which I'm just assuming has something to do with this tailor shop that I'm lying in the ground behind.
Maybe not a bad assumption.
Incidentally, how do you feel about wild shape and swarms?
You could wild shape into a swan. I am very...
Not birds, swarms.
Oh, into swarms.
Yeah, it's kind of an edge case for wild shape most of DMV have.
I'm gonna go with no on wild shaping into a swarm.
Because if there's anything that Citadel at Bar needs, it is a swarm of squirrels running through.
Oh God, no.
You know you want me to.
No. I don't really want to think about what the effects of having dwarves kill parts of that swarm would be.
The same thing as having someone do damage to a singular creature.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as game breaking as previous editions.
But no swarms.
Would you consider differently if I were the other kind of druid?
If you were a land druid?
Yeah, the ones that get the really good wild shape.
You're not
Wait,
that
are
kind
druid-
of druid?
How did you not know that?
I kind of assume that everybody who plays druid is the one with the really good wild shape.
Yeah, I could see it for a moon druid, maybe at 8th level, but if you're a land druid, then no. I would definitely give it no to.
Yeah. Damn.
I thought there was just land druids and nature clerics.
There's the moon druids who are good at shape shifting, and then the land druids who are like
That's what I
nature
meant.
clerics, but better.
Yeah, but there's the wild shaping druids and then just nature clerics.
You mean they're not all just a bunch of hippies?
Rude.
But no squirrel swarm. No squirrel wild shape swarm.
That would be the best. Okay, then I will be a singular squirrel and leave the dress behind.
As you wild shape into a squirrel, the tailor comes around the corner of the shop, sees a squirrel inside the crumpled remains of this dress. What in tarnation?
I'm going to chitter at the dwarf and then run away.
Hey! Get back here! You got dirt on my dress!
Chitter, chitter, run.
His shouts of protest are quickly lost behind you as you run. You two eventually make it back to the tavern without a problem. Ox.
Yep.
So roll a d20 for me, Ox. All right. You are 14 gold. You are 14 gold poor. Everything around you seems normal, but there's a knocking at the door of your room.
I'll open it.
Oh, hello, sir. We have come to deliver you this lovely bust that you ordered last night. Behind this dwarf, the dwarf is wearing a lovely chef's hat and is garbed entirely in white cooking clothes. He gestures behind him to a large, life-size, lifelike statue of Ox made entirely of cheese.
Can I get you to deliver it somewhere else? Actually, I'm just now leaving this place.
Oh, monsieur, that is too bad. Where are you going?
Back to the apartment or wherever we're staying.
You're at that place.
Oh, we're already here.
Yes, you actually.
Okay. Well, never mind then.
Your bed.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was in a random hotel again. I'll just accept
wheel it
delivery
all in
then. Yeah, come on in.
Oh, monsieur! Please, take a bite! Or would you just prefer to savor the image of yourself? I know I do when I make these.
Sure. I'll take the cheese from him and bring it inside and just shut the door on his face. I brought everybody breakfast.
You hear muffled from behind the door. Oh, monsieur! Have a good time with that cheese!
Okay. I learn something new about you every day, darling.
I don't know what we learned here, but okay.
I don't know what we learned either, but it was definitely very educational.
Definitely. Adriel? You wake up a little bit after Ox does. You too are actually in the tavern. And you too wake up to a knock at the door.
Okay. Check to make sure I'm dressed in clothes I recognize.
You sorry, your clothes are all there.
Ask for a minute, make sure, double check I'm presentable.
Okay, you're presentable.
Open the door.
Oh, hello, madame.
Good morning.
I just finished bringing your friend his bust, and I have also come with your order from last night. Come, bring the box. A couple of other dwarfs, also garbed in white, with less impressive hats, come over with a very, very large box with what looks like several shelves on the front of it. Here you are. 300 freshly baked pastries for you, madame. You did not specify the variety of pastry, so we took some liberties and gave you little bits of everything.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's for the orphanage, obviously.
Well, I mentioned they're pastries. Hey, it was only pastry.
Do me a favor and roll 2d6. You are 9 gold pieces poorer for the 300 freshly baked pastries. But you do, in fact, have 300 freshly baked, very nice pastries.
Inks just wanders by and grabs one off the top and keeps walking.
The squirrel dashes by,
wonderful.
grabs one, and keeps going.
I thank the chef and his assistant for their lovely, I'm sure, delicious work. And,
no problem, madame. It is all in a day's work for a heroic chef such as myself.
Heroic chef.
Wonderful.
That needs to be like an anime.
Have you not seen Food Wars? That's basically it.
I know of it. I did not know how much is more of like a hero type thing. I know it involves food.
Oh, that's true. It's not super heroic, actually. Oh, monsieur, you are so artistic, he says, looking at Rich with his fig leaf. Please, would you come by the shop this afternoon? We will set you up with a bust of your very own. We will pose you nicely and sculpt you from the finest cheese.
Oh, you should do it, darling. No one gets that chance every 100 years or so.
Right. Who wants pastries?
Oh, don't sell yourself short, darling.
All right. I will take your silence as a no. Good sir with the leaf. Monsieur, if you change your mind, your friends know where we are. Please come find us. And with that, I bid you au revoir. He executes a lovely flowing bow and backs his way out of the door with his assistants and leaves. The pastries, for the record, are quite good. There's a mix. There is a mix of different types. There are lovely French croissants. There are what seem to be a couple of crepes already made in there. There are some Danishes. There's some brioche. A whole variety of pastries. They're very good.
Okay, I will make a point of talking and trying to figure out where exactly this bakery is, because
Good. Oh, madame, we are located.
no, after leave.
Oh, after they leave. Okay. Roll a wisdom. No, roll an intelligence check.
You find out that bakery has been closed for 40 years.
Intelligence check, that could well be true. Ha!
You have no idea where you found that bakery.
Right, I'll have to try and make some discreet inquiries after.
Ghost pastries.
Yeah. That turned out so much better than I could have hoped for.
Oh, it was wonderful. I think like Inks is just waiting there with like a mimosa as people are wandering in and gets to grab a pastry.
All right. I think that's all the carousing we're gonna do for the first 3 days. It was a trip. That's for sure.
There will be plenty of time to get drunk now.
There certainly will be. Day 4. So you guys have the opportunity to rest up from your previous night of carousing. Day 4, a quiet knock comes at the doors of your chambers. Hello, I got a message for the adventurers in this place.
Inks will open her door. Yes, darling. May I help you?
Hey, I got a message from General Fullhammer. He's asking you to come see him at your earliest convenience.
Ah, yes, of course. We'll be there as soon as we can.
Ah, brilliant. I'll just be waiting out here. Let me know when you're ready to go. I'll take you right to him.
Of course, of course. And she'll go knocking on other people's doors. Come along, darlings. We have work to do. Like, good morning, Starshines.
Get ready, get dressed, all that.
Aight. So, the dwarf who came to find you guys escorts you to a hall near the king's rooms, but not quite there. He opens the door. General Fohammer, the adventurers are here, my lord. Thank you. You may go.
Is the Knights of St. Nee?
You enter into a large stone chamber. There is very little decoration or ornamentation anywhere in here. It very much fits the descriptor of Spartan. At the far end, there is a dwarf standing behind a stone table with a severely burned man sitting in a chair facing him with his back to you. Hello! I am General Fohammer, General of Adbar and Hammer to her foes. How do you do?
Greetings.
Hammer
General.
to her.
Pleasure.
What? Hammer to her foes?
To her foes, the foes of Adbar.
Okay.
General Fohammer is the hammer to the foes of Adbar.
That's quite gallant.
We have... I understand that you are to thank for the saving of our king and for some operation at Ironslag.
Oh yes, how is His Majesty? Is he alright now?
He is recovering.
Oh, wonderful.
General Fohammer has received some disturbing news, however.
Oh, do go on.
We have received news that the fireworks coming from Ironslag are not celebrations. They are, in fact, warnings. The Duke has marched from Ironslag. He is coming towards Adbar.
That is not good.
No, it is not.
And
You!
yet better than assailing him in his helm.
Why did we not cover the flask in lead?
You, young adventurer! Please, tell these fine folk of what you found, of what you ran into on the way. So the adventurer turns toward the group of you and stiffens a little bit as he sees you all. It's your old friend Dagon. He is burned to shit.
Inkster stares at him with a frown. There goes her mood again.
A horde of fire giants coming towards the city. Some big mechanical thing going with them. Breathed fire on me. The rest of us ran. I pulled it off them, distracted it as best I could. They went west. I came here. Figured I'd warn the dwarves.
Wait, so he says they went a different direction than here, so they're not coming toward Asbar?
The fire giants are coming towards Adbar.
The rest of his adventuring party, I'd actually probably ask about that. The rest of your party, you sent them west towards
civilization.
Right.
Newfort, Sundabar, Silvery Moon, Everland, anywhere that can spare some swords. Adbar is probably about to go under siege.
Has word been sent to Lord Naboon?
Yes, it has. Giant kept yelling about giving something back to him. Seemed very important. Shouting about how he needed to achieve his destiny.
Wait, who is that? The name?
The one in the giant, the one in the Colossus.
it's piloted.
Oh. Sounds like it.
Needs some way to control it. I guess the fire giants thought that was the best way.
It's also a potential weak point.
True.
I thought they couldn't get it to operational status without the primordial.
With any luck, their need to use a lesser power source will make it weaker than intended. Nevertheless, it's still very dangerous. And we don't know how strong it really is.
General, I'd like to go, if you don't mind. The rest of you won't ask him anything else? This man is injured.
He's still
Anything else can
currently
wait.
injured?
Sorry?
He is currently still injured.
Yeah, he's got burns everywhere. Burns for days.
Seriously.
You, I can only assume, roll your eyes.
I'm just annoyed that I rolled 2 1s on that.
I only assume that you can roll your eyes and kind of cure wounds at him as a slap.
I
But
try to look for a place that it won't hurt him too bad to touch him when I do it.
you have to reach around to the other shoulder from where you are to do it. But yeah, you give him a nice slap. He jumps, but thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
So, I'll say to the general, I don't think there's anything, unless he thinks there's something else we need to know now, I think we should let him rest.
Not much else to tell. Colossus coming. It can breathe fire. It's strong. It's slow, but it's strong.
We have work to do now.
I'll be going.
Did
Thank
you
you.
happen to see what it was made of?
Mix of different things. Parts of it adamantine, parts of it other metals. Some sort of weird alloy. Wasn't as strong as the adamantine, but still strong.
You know, it's a really important druid spell that didn't make it into 5e.
What's that?
Rusting Grasp.
You can see that as a damage type shift on Shocking Grasp.
Well, Shocking Grasp like attacks creatures. I want to destroy metal. Shocking Grasp doesn't really do that.
We just unleash a rust monster on it.
Do we have one of those?
I doubt it.
I'm not sure I want to come across a rust monster.
Well, you need a colossal rust monster, and that sounds like a horrible thing.
You could make one.
Wait,
I
you
mean,
can
I'm not
make
endorsing
rust
it as a-
monsters?
You could try. You are dismissed, Dagon. I wish to talk to these adventurers. Dagon nods, rises, and leaves the room, limping.
But at least less limping than he was when he came.
Yes. You know, he's not oozing onto anything, which is progress. So, I understand from the king that you are rather skilled. However, you are also on a mission of some importance.
That is certainly the case, yes.
Well, we would appreciate any help that you can offer. We understand if your mission for the Lord's Alliance takes precedence. General Fohammer will not hold it against you for doing your duty.
I personally feel at least a little bit of duty to help you deal with the assault, given that they are triggered into coming by us. Not that what other people choose to do can be anyone else's fault, but we were certainly involved.
In addition, our other mission doesn't require us to leave for a few more days. Anyway, since we were going to be here, we will certainly aid in the defense of the city until we have to leave.
I see.
Inks just does a subtle message spell to Adriel. We do need to worry about the iron flask, though.
Can I respond to that quietly?
Yeah.
I'm well aware, but I don't want to commit to the whole siege if it comes to that.
If I were involved in this discussion, I have some ideas, but it sounds like you're having a personal one.
Sort of giving each other looks, I think, to everyone else. What would you have us do, General? If you haven't decided yet, we'll wait in our inn and you can find us there.
I was figuring I'd leave. I have a few places in which I could use some aid. There are. I don't mean to offend, but you don't exactly seem the type to stand on a wall and defend against a siege there.
Not with the skill of a dwarf, no.
He kind of nods with a little bit of a smile. I have a few other things that I was hoping for your aid with.
Go on.
The Colossus is likely piloted by their Duke, Zalto. However, he is not the only important fire giant on the field. One thing that you could do for us is capture or kill as many other fire giant leaders as you can. We know, for instance, that Zalto's son, daughter, and wife were with him at Iron Slag. Capturing any of them would be a great boon.
Is he likely to have brought them onto the field of battle?
Yes. It is the fire giant way.
I believe they're both of age. I think we already knew that.
They're old enough to fight. They're not.
I mean, of course his wife would be.
They're not like full fire giants. The kids aren't full fire giants yet, but they're old enough to fight. There is
something. Go ahead.
There is also the matter of the Colossus itself. If there were any way to damage it or disable it without outright fighting it, that would be excellent. The fire giants, from what our scouts have told us, have little siege weaponry, except for the Colossus itself.
Well, on the fact that they're fire giants. The fact
True.
that they're fire giants.
True. If you could disable or destroy the Colossus, that would be most welcome.
I have some considerations on the matter. Let me think about it for a little while.
Or just figure out a way to get them to go away. Atbar can probably repel them, but it will cost us more lives than I care to spend, if it isn't necessary.
Okay, I've got a few questions.
Do ask. General Fohammer will answer you as best he can.
Do we know how they're guarding their encampment?
Primarily ogres, I believe. At least at night. The fire giants don't like staying awake late at night. He rolls his eyes. Pansies.
Do we know what kind of ranged capability they have? No siege, but personal weapons?
Sorry?
Well, we know that they have little in the way of siege weaponry, but what about personals? Are fire giants behind the whole rocks thing too? They are, aren't they?
All giants are behind the whole rocks thing. It's legitimately like... Somebody's got a call. It's legitimately like pan-giant cultural thing is that they all throw rocks of some variety. So, yeah, fire giants definitely down to throw rocks.
So I say, like, siege weapons, and they're giants. They have giant hammers. They have giant rocks. They have giant things. That's why they're not going to bring, like, siege towers and stuff.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Adbar is in a mountain, right?
Yeah, Adbar is literally carved out of a mountain.
So, it's gonna be an above average difficulty to just smash your way through the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, just waiting it out isn't something he wants to do. I understand, but us standing on a wall isn't gonna help either.
No, I definitely think that we can help resolve this in a more effective manner. I just need a little time to plan.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him if he can give us any reports or intelligence that he does have, aside from what he's mentioned,
All right.
so that we can peruse that while he goes about doing his job.
All right. He will scribe. He rings a little bell on his desk. The door to the side of the room opens. A flustered-looking young dwarf pokes his head in. Bring these adventurers a copy of all the intelligence reports we have. General Foehammer commands it. Scribe nods and rushes from the room.
General Fohammer, I wonder what sort of resources you might make available for us to resolve this issue, if there's something we happen to need to make this work better.
What kind of resources did you have in mind to ask General Foehammer for?
I am thinking of alchemical substances personally. While fire is unlikely to do much good, I'm thinking of acids and glues, and possibly if there are any alchemical substances that induce rusting.
General Foehammer is the leader of a city of miners, and General Foehammer is me. General Foehammer will find you the components you require.
I am grateful to General Fohammer.
And General Foehammer is grateful to you.
Well then, let's get to work, shall we?
Indeed.
General Foehammer thanks you. Let General Foehammer know if you require anything else. General Foehammer is eager to see his city safe.
A note, General. I don't suppose you would have anything along the lines of a broom of flying or something that might be able to dispense certain alchemical creations over top of them.
General Foehammer will see.
Thank you. suppose we start going over what we get and figuring out a plan.
All right. So, what Dagon told you is a pretty good summary of what the Colossus has. It's primarily adamantine. What's remaining is some sort of unfamiliar alloy. It's probably some manner of steel, but nobody can quite get close enough to check.
See, that's what I loved about Rusting Grasp. As long as it wasn't magical, it was gone.
I'm going to go ahead and say I'm pretty sure this thing is magical.
That is a safe assumption.
Aw, oh my fun. That's fine. I'm sure we can think of other entertaining things to do.
I think you're on the right track with acid, because that's something we can do a lot of damage with, and it's likely to not be super resistant to.
Also, the fire giants are unlikely to be resistant to it as well.
That's a good point.
Yeah, there's a fair number of fire giants coming with the Colossus.
Yeah, I mean, roughly what size of forces are we talking about? Like 40 fire giants or like 400 fire giants? It's
Probably 600-700.
wow, that is a lot of
Maybe twice that number in ogres, orogs, assorted goblinoids coming with them.
So the Leroy Jenkins strategy is probably not going to work.
It might be entertaining to see how many rounds it takes them to crush us with rocks as we charge.
Just make them roll 1,200 rock throw rolls.
You see all these 20s? Yeah, the ones that hit, those kill you.
Do we have any way of making all of us invisible?
There are several clerics around, and assorted other magical persons.
They can get us a flying carpet and we can invisible ourselves. That's a good way into wherever we want to go.
How far are they and how fast are they advancing? When will they actually make contact with the city?
They are about 3 days away.
I mean, this was rough. We had one giant to deal with.
Yeah, they're moving slowly from Iron Slag. The Colossus does not walk fast, but they are coming.
And we don't think they're actually following the Iron Flask, do we? Because it's been in a bag of holding and therefore in a different dimension, basically.
Unless they have a reason to know where we went.
I mean,
Roll
it's far.
Arcana.
It's
They probably can't track the flask. when it's in a bag of holding like that.
But it is the nearest point of civilization.
Depending on when they put the thing out, we did take it out to show the king.
Servants saw us. So they know it was humanoids. It wasn't, and we had a big army of dwarves camped out in their front step, so.
Yeah, there were a couple thousand dwarves there.
So yeah, the chances that they have no idea, or that they can be convinced that Citadel Admar had nothing to do with it, are pretty low. Even for us. How fast can dwarves mine through Earth?
Fairly quickly? Why do you ask?
Because I'm wondering if we can dig a pit trap.
I was thinking something like that too.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall prone.
Not for nothing. There probably is one already there.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like an army-sized pit trap.
Yeah,
I
it would
mean,
take
if
a
we
while
had-
to build, but I think they would pre-build that if they could.
You make a good point. That probably is something a dwarf army or dwarves would have, is sets of tunnels running underneath that they can collapse. The question is, do they have one that's big enough to... Ooh. Are you looking to pit trap the army, or are you looking to pit trap the Colossus, or both?
I want to pit trap everything that I can. I mean, if they starve or are drowned or are buried, it is so much easier and safer for all of us than it is. I mean, we can attempt to reduce their ability to fight, but trying to actually personally kill that many giants. The other option is that we can try to lead them off. And they may or may not be detecting the flask now.
The problem with leading them off is, where do we lead them to? Because even if we convince them that it's in the Evermoors, they're going to go through Silvery Moon to get there. Or we have to run into this giant glacier over here to the east.
Can we lead them onto the glacier?
And if we want to do that for the next month and nothing else. Or we can trick them somehow.
As perhaps they might be tricked if they saw a bird flying in that direction with the flask.
Though to be fair, if they already have this thing, what do they need the flask for at this point?
Since it is up and running around, which I expected it not to be, then they intended to use the primordial as a power source. That's why it's said to be slow.
I have a feeling that having the primordial from the flask would make it more powerful and dangerous than it is now.
So, some points that you would probably know in character that you might not remember now. The primordial is built for the forge. It's not meant as a power source for for the Colossus,
That's what
for
I
the
thought.
Vonendod, it's meant to forge it. They needed something of immense power to like reconstruct the Vonendod, period. There was no way they could reforge the full thing without it. Thing number 2, this Dagon describes this Colossus to you as probably 50, 60 feet tall. The hand that you found at the dig site was proportioned to look like it was about 30 feet across.
So this is definitely Vonendod Light.
This is basically
That was Vonendod.
Duke's,
This is Vonenson.
Duke's mini Vonendod. Just, I feel obliged not to let you go wandering off in on the wrong train of reasoning. When in character, you would probably know those things.
Then in that case, I'm not sure how it's running around.
Well, if it's a mini Vonendod, it has whatever power source it has. That's fine. I mean, whatever. But
It was just also created regularly.
well, it's the other
Whatever
thing.
power there
This
was
is
forged.
not made of adamantine. It's made of
partly made of
metal,
adamantine.
but not. I mean, there's adamantine in there, but it's mostly just basically steel.
I thought it was adamantine and some steel.
Yeah, adamantine with some steel. Probably some magic mixed in. It's a fucking 60-foot tall metal man. It's a safe assumption to make.
Is there such thing as magical acid? Or like that's considered a weapon?
That's another thing to ask. Even if we assume it's made of adamantine, is acid going to be good? Is that going to work?
I was thinking that since it is not entirely adamantine, it might work with joints and thus the adamantine parts would fall apart or otherwise lock up.
That is a definite possibility. Scout reports specifically list the legs as not being adamantine. Just by the way.
Okay, that's good. Get rid of the legs, they can't go anywhere.
How big of an object can heat metal affect?
Is there a limit specified?
I don't think that'll. At least I think the way it's worded to work wouldn't help because they're fire giants and they're immune, probably.
You know, that is an interesting question.
Question. For the purposes of spells and magical items, would the Vodendad count as a creature?
I assume it's probably a construct. At least the person inside it is a creature.
Item, like
Here's my
magic
thought
armor.
process. We should open the iron flask, because it probably doesn't have the primordial anyway, and try to trap the giant robot thing inside of it.
Oh god.
Wait, what? Wait.
Oh
On
god.
what are you basing this statement? Probably doesn't have the primordial anyway.
That was last session. Or maybe the session before that.
That was last session when you determined that there's no way to prove that the primordial is in this flask.
There's
Right.
no way to prove it without opening it, but that we know that there's something in it.
Yeah, but I mean, look, there's basically two options, right? Either it is the primordial or it's not. So it's basically 50-50 odds.
But we know that the primordial was stolen from where it was originally located, and we know that they tried to threaten us with the primordial, or with the flask, claiming it contained the primordial.
They could be bluffing.
They could have been, but they tried pretty hard to actually do it once once the fight started. They tried to open it.
I'm
Would
just
they have
saying,
done that if it didn't?
we could end this whole fight with Vodendad by trapping in the iron flask.
Well, in any case, I'm pretty sure it's a magic item and not an independent creature that can be trapped.
It would be a construct, but the problem is with the your Colossus is a construct. The problem is that the Iron Flash requires the target to be from another plane.
Oh, damn, I forgot about that.
It still leaves us with the problem of a 700 giant army as well.
Right, new plan. We plane shift everybody to a different plane and then do this.
Oh guys, this is worse. It's not the primordial in the flask, it's the fucking Yellow King. That's totally it.
Oh god.
And he laughs at the end of the world.
Man, I hadn't even considered that.
You didn't think of it beforehand, you're not allowed to use it now.
Oh yeah, no. It's what's in there has been determined. I'm not gonna change it on you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm looking at the rules for it now, though. I forgot about this part. So, when you open it, the creature inside is friendly to you and your companions for 1 hour and obeys your commands for that duration.
Is it friendly enough that we can say, get back in the flask?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put show you guys the iron flask thing in the magic items section as well. You're carrying one. You should know what it is.
I have identify now,
Okay.
so
So you can cast Identify and confirm that there is in fact something in the flask.
Yeah, we got a picture of the flask.
Oh? Oh, that's annoying. Okay.
it is a lovely picture.
You know, there's nothing in the rules that says you can't order it at the end of the hour to fail its wisdom save and get back in the flask.
And really, isn't that part of the fun of having bottled creatures? The dangerousness of not taking care of your containment spells?
So you should be able to see the text of the Iron Flask thing now.
So I say we go ahead and open up the flask and use that to fight the giants.
We don't have the. We do have the command word. Could you get that from Identify, didn't you?
I'm worried it won't get back in. And then we have to deal with the other problem.
Understandable.
Could we? It's a primordial. Could we order it back to like an elemental plane? Because it all comes down to what we can and can't order it to do. I'm still not actually in favor of this plan. I'm just, curious.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah. You probably could order it back to an elemental plane.
But not back into the flask?
Yeah, I'm gonna kibosh ordering it to fail its save and get back in the flask. Mostly because I don't want you to be able to unleash a fire primordial on demand.
Yeah, that's fair.
Aww.
Though this thing...
What if we just want a pet primordial?
This thing has been like, it's been a big part of Gauntlgrim for a long time, right? Like, it is... Gauntlgrim needs it.
It would be fair to say that Gauntlgrim was built around this primordial.
Is the primordial intelligent?
Yes.
Okay.
It's extremely pissed off all of the time, but it is intelligent.
So, is Inks proposing to return it to Gauntlgrim? Is that what's happening?
We did kind of promise we would do that.
Are we slavers now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of a dick move to the primordial.
Right. I'm not sure I'm down with slavery. Even if it's primordial slavery.
You make a compelling point.
Seems like a dick move, to use the technical term.
To be fair, you are intending to use it as a slave for an hour.
Only because I don't have a better way to stop the giants.
You can call it what you want, darling.
I'm just saying, that still seems like a better deal for Primordial than taking it back to Gauntlgrim.
Pot calling kettle black.
Yes, but in one case it's for a good purpose, and the other case is just for a bunch of people being dicks.
You don't know what they make in that forge. Neither do I.
Do they make lives?
I think they make
Who
golems.
knows? He might have made ox.
It's true.
You know,
Wouldn't that
the
mean-
more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm thinking that Primordial really shouldn't be taken back. Well, I don't think I'm okay with that.
I mean, on the other hand, have you considered the livelihood of all of the people in the city who depend on it? I'm not saying that it's right to keep it enslaved, don't get me wrong. I'm simply saying that before you act, you have to consider all the consequences.
So if a bunch of people depend on you being enslaved, would you be okay with that?
Probably not. Does their preference outweigh mine?
Generally, when it comes to slavery, I would say it does not.
Was it enslaved or was it captured? And by that, I mean was it a danger to the society when it was caught?
Does that make a difference?
Unclear. The primordial has been enslaved for literally millennia. Or It's been trapped in the forges at Gauntlgrim for literally millennia. Yeah, Syl, unfortunately, you don't quite remember your ancient dwarven kingdom foundings too well. Apparently,
Look, we could
Ox.
have a library here.
Apparently, Ox does. Though.
Ox has been around.
Okay, let me get back to you on that one because I have to check that and make sure.
I recall you saying that it has done vast damage when it was released before, so it has been
Oh,
loose and
yeah.
it has killed a whole shitload of people then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, we know they're exceedingly dangerous, and having one loose on the material plane is a horrifying prospect. Period.
Yeah. So the primordial in Gauntlgrim was found. Oh boy, long time ago. The primordial in Gauntlgrim was found by dwarves in basically a coma-like state several millennia ago underneath the mountains of northwest. Where? I'm trying to see if I can find if the actual mountain range still exists. I'm not sure it does, but basically under some mountains that used to be in northwest Faerun. They captured it, recognizing the fact that, a sleeping primordial on their plane was a bad thing. They captured it and stuck it in the forge at Gauntlgrim.
So, I mean, you go out to visit your friend, you get a little lost along the way, decide to take a nap somewhere, and then a bunch of people enslave you for millennia.
I mean, we know the thing is, we know that it has done massive damage and a large number of deaths across the continent.
Sure. I mean, are you saying if a bunch of people enslaved you and then you managed to escape, you wouldn't wreck some shit on your way out?
Yeah, but what if you were wrecking shit on the way in and then they enslaved you? That is a different situation.
But that's not what happened.
So there's the copy-paste of the relevant history.
Wouldn't it have paid its debt at this point, though, if it did wreck a bunch of shit on the way in?
Yeah. Plus, they found it while it was asleep. That's when it got enslaved in the first place. So it wasn't wrecking shit and then enslaved. It got enslaved and then it broke free and then it wrecked shit.
Well, it's been sleeping. I mean, that's not a good situation, but it's not
Right.
it's not the same thing as being in chains and screaming for however many thousand years.
I mean, he does make a compelling point, and at the end of the day, it is enslaved.
Plus, if you're worried about it being a danger to the world, the correct solution is to put it back where it belongs, not to chain it up and build metal inside of it. Forge metal inside of it.
And as a knock-on effect, we would be freeing a bunch of enslaved water elementals.
Maybe. They might keep them.
That's true.
Yes, this is all good and wonderful.
But currently we have an army of giants coming towards the doorstep that we need to deal with.
And possibly more giants to deal with later, along with whatever the hell is going on with this extra planar being that they were talking about down south. Which, who knows, maybe a forge to make a bunch of weapons to deal with them might not be a bad idea to have.
Not to mention, acquiring the enmity of at least one city of dwarves is at least something to be considered. They're not going to be happy with us. Lord Boone will likely not be happy with us.
I definitely need some time to think on the whole what to do with the primordial thing, but more importantly, since we're not, I don't think not going to let us use it to take out the Colossus because it would take out Adbar as well, which would defeat the purpose.
Yeah, it's not a solution to the problem at hand.
It could be if you're into replacing your problems with bigger ones.
Really not, though. Not my thing. So we're still at the go after the giant leadership, just sort of sneak in, take out who we can, cause as much disruption as possible, or try and find a way to take out the Colossus.
At the very least, although it does leave us with 600 to 700 incredibly pissed off giants.
No, we're not in this on our own.
That's true, but if a war is fought with 600 to 700 giants, we will have failed in our duty to keep the peace with the giants, which, as I recall, was part of our original mission. Yes.
I think our original mission is more accurately stated: make the giants not be a problem anymore.
Yeah. Lord Boone isn't picky about how you do this. He just
Got it. He wants it done.
Technically, your mission right now is to go with Harshdog and go to the Eye of the World or the Eye of the Allfather and figure out what the fuck's going on with the Storm Giants.
Everything
I would
keeps
argue
getting
that
in our
is
way.
less our specific mission and more a means of the implementation of our mission, which is, yes, stop this giant thing from being a problem.
Yeah, that's your general overarching mission.
Alright, so my point is that a war at Citadel Advar is a problem. It's a large problem. If we let this become a war, we have already failed at stopping the problem.
Yeah, but if we get holed up here and are only dealing with these fire giants, we're also not working on solving the overall problem. And again, like I said, we're not on our own. We don't need to deal with every giant individually ourselves. So I'm inclined to contribute as much as we can reasonably on our way out. Because at the end of the day, the army of dwarves here is much better equipped to deal with the army of fire giants than we are.
And to be fair, you've already given them a good idea with all the acid.
Well, acid and flight.
And both of those things can either be done by us or dwarves.
The limit is how much acid they can make. I'm more inclined to go after their leadership, though. I think that's more the sort of thing we'd be good at.
See, there we go, prisoners. I'm just saying, darling, that is what they said to do with that particular aspect. Cutting off the head would be the Colossus.
I would think of that more as the fists.
Well, if we go right up for the Colossus, one option would just be to go kill the current pilot.
Yes, the head, aka Duke.
Which I gotta imagine would be a disruption to their command and control.
He's apparently spewing nonsense about destiny. So the question is, do we want to take out a giant death machine or kidnap some wife and child?
I'm definitely on the side of destroy the death machine. And possibly murder the Duke if we can. But I mean, it's not murder if we are at war, so assassinate, execute. Render surplus to present need.
Yeah, that.
Well, then I suppose we start working on a plan for that.
So we're reasonably confident he'll be the one in the middle of the Colossus. Do they have like pictures or drawings of the Colossus?
Several.
Is they're like, how does the pilot see out?
There are what look like eye slits. They look kind of like arrow slits in the middle of it, just wider.
So we could technically possibly see at least someone in there.
Yeah, you could technically see who's in there. Wouldn't be easy. But yeah.
How big is bigger?
Sorry?
They're like arrow slits, but bigger. How big is bigger?
Call them 10 centimeters across each. They're joined. They'd probably be joined in the middle. So call it about a foot across. Foot square.
So we could squeeze in that way if we wanted to.
Well, I certainly can. And guess what I can bring with me?
Peg hole?
Did you guess acid?
I guessed acid. Oh, I do need to show you my lovely little purchase I got recently, and she holds up an alchemy jug.
Oh my.
I was going to save it for
Have
some more
you there?
carousing, but It can make a bit of acid. Actually, it might be able to make glue. I gotta remember what actually it can make.
I think you can make those.
You can make mayo.
Yeah, mayonnaise is definitely one on the list.
Okay, it doesn't look like glue, but it can do like oil, vinegar, poison, acid. The 8 ounces of acid would probably be best in this situation. Unless we just want to cover him in honey and then get summon bees. Summon bees, Syl! Yes, where's that gif of Oprah just being like, bees?
All right. So you want to dive bomb the gap with some manner of acid and/or honey.
Yeah, I guess in 5e you can't boil down universal solvent and make it destroy anything juice.
You have to get solvent in those joints.
Do you have any universal solvent?
We have the resources of the city at our disposal, do we not?
This is true. Do they have any universal solvent? I guess is the question then.
Though we would probably want sovereign glue in this case, then we just gum up the joints and make it so they can't move.
We could gum up the joints, but I was thinking as a means of assassinating the chief, it's pretty effective.
Or we just get some solvent or sovereign glue on his eyes.
Or glue his eyes shut.
So yes, you could attempt to do both of those things. Unfortunately, nobody has universal solvent or sovereign glue on hand, given that they're apparently legendary items.
And yet,
Oh.
universal solvent doesn't destroy everything anymore. What's up with that?
Yeah. It just dissolves adhesive.
I just remember coming across sovereign glue and universal solvent in like a first level campaign.
No, they're apparently legendary items.
Oh, everyone got
says you
stuck together.
can't, as a DM, give away legendary items to first level characters. It's just a terrible idea.
Yep,
I mean,
shit got
usual.
stuck.
the Iron Flask is legendary.
It is. It's just useless against a lot of things because it only affects extraplanar beings.
So I think if people do end up freeing the Primordial, then we just save the Iron Flask for when we meet the Yellow King.
So we're hearing is we should free the primordial so we have a flask ready.
No.
I feel like everyone is more or less on board with that in a general sense, and at this point we're just hammering on specifics. Aren't we?
Yeah.
Inks is more worried about about their standing and their backing for everything else they need to do. She's seeing more bigger picture in this than just the primordial. Because again, another extra planar thing trying to destroy or enslave everybody and everything takes priority. But if we can get acid into the Colossus, that might be good.
It does seem to be the best idea we've actually had so far.
Well then, the question is, what's the best way of getting it in there?
Excellent.
Invisible flame?
I fly over there with it as a hawk, shapeshift into a squirrel, wave at him, and then uncork it in his face. So is everyone silent in horror or in awe?
I'm now pondering how much space he has
Um,
in there.
My issue with that is I'm not sure how you get out of that alive.
Mm-hmm.
That does present itself as a meaningful downside.
I would rather not have a high-level cleric on standby for a resurrection. I mean, it would be nice, but I wouldn't want to need it.
Dimension door out.
I didn't understand that.
Dimension door out.
Ah. Oh, there you go. We find a Cape of the Mount Bunk for you.
Yep, that would work.
I have dimension door.
As do I, honestly, but we can't both fit.
Even if you're going in as a hawk, could you carry a bag of holding?
Probably. How heavy is a bag of holding?
10 pounds, I think.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
15 pounds. I was close.
Yeah, let's say a hawk can carry a bag of holding. I'm curious where this leads.
Well, bag of holding can fit a lot of things, including people.
That's where I figured he was going.
So there's no need for her to go in alone. There is such a thing as magical airborne infantry.
The question is how much space is inside.
I think the bigger question is, how are they going to breathe?
I think there's like
There's
10
air in
minutes
there.
of air.
Also,
not like a ton of them.
Also, a significant question. I'm fairly certain that all 4 of the non-Sill adventurers weigh at least 500 pounds. Or weigh more than 500 pounds. Gear and people included.
How many of us could we fit in there?
I'm assuming you wouldn't bring everybody. I mean, all you really need is Rich so you can teleport out.
I mean, I can just dimension door in now, and then back out.
You have to be able to see where you're going, don't you?
Dimension door, you do not.
Oh, nice.
It's a 500-foot max range, so that'd be problematic.
It's just a matter if you don't know where you're going and you go into like a wall or something like that, you go elsewhere. Or no, you don't teleport and you take force damage.
Yeah, so how much, what determines your carrying stuff, your carrying limit in flight by strength?
Same as always, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's just strength.
Strength score.
I want to say it's like 5 times your strength score.
It's default is 15 times your strength score is your character capacity. That's it.
Okay.
Which means no matter what your strength score is, yes, you'll be able to carry the 15-pound bag of holding.
Well, if it's reduced to 0 and without killing you.
I can carry the bag and a couple of small party members.
Are you calling me small?
No. I'm saying that my carrying capacity is 225 pounds as a giant vulture.
Could a giant vulture fit in there?
Well, if I shapeshift for the landing, then I can go through the window as something smaller.
That is rather risky. I feel that.
Yeah, if you can do that, what you could do instead is polymorph a couple of people into like small rodents and then unpolymorph once you're inside.
We're the rescuers.
Or if she's an invisible hawk, which turns into an invisible squirrel or whatever.
Talk about secret squirrel.
Yes.
I mean, can I get you out of the bag as a hawk?
Probably not. You don't have hands. And I feel like
Balls.
I'm telling.
Somebody just holds fingers outside of the bag. That's
I
it.
think the bigger issue is she in hawk form smart enough to manipulate a bag?
She keeps her intelligence.
That's
I'm
right,
pretty
wild
sure.
shape. Polymorph screws with your intelligence. but wild shape does not.
Yep. So yeah, how big is this? It's 60 feet tall, right? So how big is the control room? Is it like his face peering out of there all the time, or?
It's giant-sized. He has to fit in there.
I mean, I guess what I'm asking, is it like power armor, or is he like a pilot?
Unclear at this time. Nobody can really see inside of it to know.
We kind of saw pieces of it when we were going through.
You saw it mostly fully assembled. It just didn't have its legs.
So that's the part they had to rush through, right?
He.
Which seems like it'll be a great weak point. You destroy the legs, the whole thing falls down and can't move anymore.
Indeed.
It's a significant weakness.
So what we do is we get some of those traps, like pit traps, fill them with acid, like pools of acid.
If the legs are non-magical, then yeah, going for the joints in the legs seems like a solid plan.
They're magical, but they have limits.
It doesn't fly, or so it sounds, so getting rid of the legs would be great.
Yeah, because if we get it to stop moving, it's no longer effective in a siege. At least from that end.
We would just need it far enough away from the city that it can't use whatever breath or fire beam that it has.
What would be our best way to sneak into the camp to get up to it?
Fly.
That way we can acid it, its legs.
Depends on how sneaky you are. They don't really have anything. All of their watching is mostly focused on the ground. They don't really have anything for the air. So that's one option. Another option would be most of the people who are on watch at night are ogres, who are not known for being terribly smart or perceptive. So you can sneak past them. You are working with a bunch of dwarves, so they can tunnel you in. Oh. There are ways.
And if we need a fairly decent blast of acid without any warning or anything like that, I do have chromatic orb.
Does it stop at night when they camp?
Yes.
I'm currently thinking some sort of airborne insertion in the middle of the night. Find the Colossus, ruin the legs.
Seems like a pretty solid plan to me.
Yep.
I guess it
And
really
should I-
depends what kind of flying options they can give us, if any. Because a flying carpet would make this like 1,000% easier. For example.
Where does one get a flying carpet, though? I feel like they're not just everywhere.
I'm hoping someone in the Citadel has one.
Or
Not
maybe
that we
some
don't have
brooms, who knows?
alternatives, but
Ah.
Also, scrolls of invisibility, maybe.
I have Invis and Greater Invis, so no need to worry about that.
Flying carpet, I'm
But only so many spell slots.
not sure about. Roll me a D100. Yeah, okay, they have a flying carpet.
Damn.
would they be willing to lend it to us?
Yeah, you're willing to go fuck up this Colossus for them? Please take our flying carpet. We have 3 more in the basement.
I like that.
I have some ideas for using those when it does become a battle, so hang on to them.
Okay, now with greater invisibility, how many people can you affect?
To just one. I could do 2, but I don't have it.
Does if the target is carrying another person, does that count?
I'm gonna say no.
Do we really want a bunch of unsneaky people trying to sneak in?
Well, that's what I'm trying to think. If we can go in invisible, then hopefully we can just fly in. Person with acid goes down, does the thing, comes back up, and we're gone.
Also, if we have a
That-
carpet and you have
Plan
silence,
A.
that could help.
Well, I have boots that keep me silent, so
I can
I mean,
still
person
cast
going
in
down,
silence.
I'm thinking Siliqui and Richard are definitely the first ones down, but if you guys need support,
Yeah.
There we go. A scroll of silence. That would be helpful.
I feel like y'all will know the signal when everything goes to shit.
we just start hearing some very loud cursing, yeah.
Also, to be fair, I actually have a dimension door as well. So if we can stay 500 feet away. Here's a question: Does a flying carpet stay in the air when no one's on it?
Maybe
Probably.
just shove it back in the bag of holding.
I'm just curious because I can bring people down and then just go back up and fire from the carpet.
Also, out of character, because I just realized that this might affect plannings. I'm not going to be here next week.
That's okay. We're not. I have a final next Monday, so we will not be playing next week.
Oh, well,
Good
that
luck.
makes things easier.
So,
Kick that final's ass.
yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, I will be here for this then. But I think we've roughly planned it out as best we can for now.
Yeah.
We'll continue thinking about it. I guess post in Discord if you think of anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in character, we're gonna have like 3 days to play around with these ideas.
Yeah. You've got plenty of time in character to debate, and plenty of time out of character to decide as well.
Okay.
But yeah, on that note, I guess this is where we're ending the session for tonight.
Strategery.
Yeah, the strategery. It's a thing that is the doing of being done.
I'm voting on a scroll of plane shift plus iron flask. Seems like a good combo.
Polls in Discord, is that a thing you can do?
Maybe a bot.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it with just Discord by itself.
What'd you want to do?
A poll.
Yeah, bots, your best bet, or just do a straw poll.
That's true. Could just straw poll it. So, quick straw poll amongst you guys. Which plan do you favor the most? Plane shift plus iron flask, dive bombing the hole, or attacking in the night?
I'm for attacking in the night.
Yeah.
No, we were attacking in the night regardless. That was happening no matter what else happened.
Yeah, where's option D? All of the above.
I think A would be the most fun, Giggity for B, and then C probably has the best bet.
Yeah, Rich is the only one who wants to dive bomb the hole, I guess, in true bardic tradition.
Can we just do all of the above?
Get your fig leaf ready.
Forever.
Dive bomb the hole at night and then plane shift everything and iron flask it up?
Yeah, you gotta hit it then quit it.
I was thinking night raid on the legs. You've missed me. Yes, get all the fig leaves ready.
Won't those just get in the way?
They are not real, technically. So no.
That's points for style if you do manage a giant fig leaf.
Oh, some people don't need giant fig leaves. Too much credit, too much credit.
Okay. I think the only thing left would be inspiration nomination.
Yes.
I don't know who had it last week.
Yeah, I seem to be.
Literally everyone.
Oh yeah, that's true. We gave it to everyone.
Yay!
Which I don't think anybody's used theirs yet.
No.
Nope.
Not a roll-heavy game.
No, it was not.
So it'll be increased again next week.
Hmm?
She does not.
What?
You were the last one listed, so.
Oh, yeah.
All right then. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Later.
That's it.
So wait, what happened?
What happened is everybody already has. Ah, he left. Damn. Later.
Later.